and girls, children, everyone watching this video. Just wanted to touch base. It's Nathan Burge from beinvested.com.au, and today I want to talk to you about renting your property, how to maximise your cash flow. Big thing that people don't look at often enough is their cash flow, and for me, cash flow is very important. Like, your whole thing about buying properties and investing is about you making money as an investor. And you could be a nice person. I don't know you watching this video right now. I'm sure you're a nice person. Hopefully you do good things and all that sort of stuff. However, people think, I shouldn't put my rent up because the tenant is nice. I feel sorry for my tenant. This, that, the next thing. The real estate agent won't put it up, etc., etc. I'm sure that old Esme down the street is a lovely lady, but the RBA changes the interest rates go up. It's the way it is. If things go up, they go up. And for you to go as an investor, as a professional investor, to make money and invest, like, you don't buy property just for the fun of it. Some people do, a lot of people do actually, but they just do it for a status quo or whatever. If you're a professional investor trying to make money out of your investing and your results, it's important to keep very close on the ball and finger on the pulse that you can actually make money out of your investing. And I recently got disgruntled. I would say I got the shits, but I got upset about some of my property managers out there and the ability to actually get me the best results for my property. And I recently set up an asset management company called Blink Property, blinkproperty.com.au. That's my little spruik for this. As far as talking about investing, I'm just going to go about talking about how I look at my cash flow and things that you may be able to get an aha moment on and go, look, I'm going to increase my cash flow and make a lot more money from this, what Nathan has said. So I'm going to talk about just a couple of little things. If we always talk about 10 properties, I don't know why, it's just a fascination, probably because it's my first goal ever to get 10 properties and build a portfolio of that. Let's talk about that you've got 10 properties and assume that you've got 10 properties today. If you haven't got 10 properties, then that's for another video for us to talk about. Let's say we've got 10 properties, and I think I'm getting good at writing these little houses now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can give them all little roofs. Once again, little did you know today, I don't know if you've got kids at school at the moment. It's the start of 2013. I don't have any children yet, none that I know about. With children, they get a pen licence when they're in year 3. I never got my pen licence, so apologies for that. Let's assume that you've got a property and it's rented for $300 per week. And you, as a professional investor, you take the initiative because you've got to be proactive. You can't just sit there and wait for someone to say, oh, I'm going to throw more money at you, or whatever the case may be. You as an investor need to understand what's happening in the marketplace. So me as an investor, I always go and see what's happening from a rental side of things, from a sales side of things, to keep a finger on the pulse and an eye on the market, to make sure that where the market is at. So you go on the net and you keep a regular post and you see that there's 50 properties in your suburb today for rent. And you keep an eye on the market and you keep an eye out and you see that next month there's 40 properties for rent. And then there's 45, and then there's 35. And you can see that the market's tightening. You can also see the fact that your property is rented for $300 a week. You can see that the properties are now about $320 for the cheapest and $340 for other ones in the market. You've got a price range of $320 to $330. Every month, I hop on the internet. Every week sometimes I hop on the internet, just randomly, just looking at it, because I love that stuff. I love looking at properties and love what I do. And I keep the eye out to see, this is the price range that rents are happening. Why am I getting $300 per week when if I put my rent to $320, the tenant may not like it. They might come into the real estate office and whinge and complain to the agent saying, look, my rent's gone up, I don't want it up. They may go and look at other properties, but what are they going to be looking at? They're going to be looking at properties in that price range. If your property manager doesn't tell you that you can get $320 per week, I don't know if you can see that or not, it says $320. If your property manager's not telling you that, they're costing you $20 per week. Let's look at how $20 per week affects you. $20 per week equals, I was good at maths at school though. $1,040 per annum. That's a fair bit of money that they're losing because they're incompetent to put up your rent, and that's just a simple thing. But yet, some property managers out there will say to you, hang on a minute, your tenant has requested an air conditioner because it's summer. A tenant has requested that they want a new fly screen on the door. A tenant has requested that they don't like the paint, and can you please paint it? If you do that sort of thing, can you get more money? I don't know. But real estate agents have the tenant, they have this is a key point, like whatever you're doing at the moment, just watch it. Property managers, some property managers are very young. If you pay them their wage, you pay them as a property manager to look after your property in your best interest. If a real estate agent has to put up the rent to a tenant, they see the tenant every week when they come in to pay their rent. They're paying the rent, they've got the relationship with the tenant. If the tenant complains, they've got a more vested interest, a lot of them, to say to you, you can't put up the rent, it's like they might move out, whatever the case may be. I don't give a shit. You should be looking after my property because I pay you as a property manager to look after my property. As far as the perspective goes on that, like real estate agents, what do they get out of putting your rent up? You get richer as an investor, correct, because you're getting an extra $1,000 per year. Are they getting $1,000 per year? No, because you're paying them like 7%. Whatever you're paying your property manager on $20 per week, that's like $1.40 to their boss for putting up the rent. They're going to have the tenant complaining. For them, it doesn't. They don't have a motivation to put up the rent. You've got a motivation because it's going to make you money. Let's get my little trusty wipe to wipe this off. $1,040 per annum you're losing. Remember, you've got 10 properties. If you don't keep an eye out, $20 times 10 is $200 per week that you're losing. When was the last time you went to your boss and said, I want a pay rise for $10,000 per year? What was the answer? Was it like a big go jump? No, it's not. The reality is that you could be more proactive as an investor. You could be creating a new cash flow to yourself just by being proactive and increasing your rents, looking at your rents. From that perspective, times that by 52 weeks, you're robbing yourself of $10,400 per year. Review your rents regularly, keep on top of your property manager, manage your property manager, or get a competent property manager which will look out for your best interest. From that perspective, it's just as simple as that. People say, how do you get positive cash flow from building your property portfolio? You've got 10 properties, you've just done a $20 per week. If you're a tenant watching this, when was the last time your rent rose? When was the last time that you had a $20 per week? Did you move out of your house and create havoc and create the next riot? No, you didn't. You just paid it because it's how things happen. Property manager that's proactive will do that for you. A property manager that doesn't care won't do it. You be proactive, keep an eye on the market, make more money. I'm just going to rub this off so I don't make the board too messy. We can go on the next part of it. I understand what to look for now when increasing the rent. You increase the rent by $20 per week this year. This is year 1. Year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. You increase it $20 this week from $300 to $320. You increase it next year by $20. You increase it next year by $20. You increase it next year by $20. Next year by $20. Tell me a successful business that doesn't look at their cash flow, their financial statements and all that. 320, 340, 360, 380, 400. So in 5 years' time to get to $400 per week. What does that mean? That means this year your rent's gone up by $200 per week. Next year it's up by $400. It's gone up, gone up, gone up. I'm going to be the human calculator here. Let's just use round numbers here. $200 per week, $400 per week, just so I can put it in perspective. $600 per week. $800 per week, $1,000 per week in your pocket. In your pocket. How did I build a portfolio of so many properties? How did I get out of my job at the age of 24? How do I get to, I don't know, drive cool cars and sit at the beach whenever I want and wear thongs every day? It's because I build a lifestyle around keeping on top of my property portfolio that I built. This year, year one, you do that, you're up 10,000 per year. 20, 30, 40. In 5 years' time, if you've got 10 properties increasing by $20 per year, I'm going to wipe all this off the board. I'm going to have the fun of wiping all this off. So I'm going to write some numbers here. It's going to look like a mess, but I think it's going to get the picture clear of how you can make money on a property. Take this off. I really should invest in a duster, you know. 10 properties is all you need. You increase it by $20 per week. Let's mark off on a few things. $20 per week per year. What will that give you? It'll give you $1,000 per property per year increase. It'll give you $10,000 per year increase. And that will equal money, yes, but a total of $50,000. And I don't know if I have to spell it out, I just did. But that's a lot of money, and if you don't handle your property portfolio well, you don't manage your property well, and you don't have property managers that are competent to manage your property well, you'll be working still. That's an average wage. That's an average wage. Someone could be out working, catching a train at 7 o'clock in the morning, going to the city, getting back at 7 o'clock at night, earning that money a year. You can keep on top of your property managers and earn that passive every year and tell your boss where to go. It's pretty simple. I just thought I'd get on YouTube, talk about that today. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully it's given you some motivation to review your property portfolio, review your rents, review your property manager, whatever the case it may be, and work on your property portfolio. Thanks a lot for watching again and having me as part of your house, and we'll talk to you shortly.